Okay, so positioning is very important, as I said. One of the things we can do is to dodge. We can dodge, but in GVG, especially in 15s, it's become detrimental because it just makes us vulnerable for the next spike, for the next thief that is gonna hunt for us, because we are pretty much targeted usually if we are seen, if we are vulnerable, of course. But if we can improve our dodge economy, we can really leverage on that. So one of the things in order to increase this economy is to learn to use your break stun. So not preventive break stun. I've seen people just pressing break stun because they were getting into hotness, but just try to use it when it's useful to use it. So in this case, about face comes into play. So we are learning to use about face, of course. And for example, we are using our about face, we get stuck, we call I'm stuck, always call I'm stuck, because sometimes our firebrands can help with spread breakdown, and we just press our breakdown, and we keep going along with the commander. So in order to do this, we have to prioritize our movement first. So the first, our defense line against CCs is just moving. I know it sounds silly, it's so simple, but it is what it is. Just move away from that place. It's the first thing, because if we start dodging in order to move away from CCs, we are gonna end up our dodges in like 2 seconds, and then we're gonna get caught. We are gonna call for too much CCs, all the stuff that you used to call when there is quote unquote too much CCs. Believe me when I say that 80% of the time is just bad dodge economy. So what I want you to learn is to take, I don't know, for example, I used to do it around a teammate, or I used to do it around an object. In this case, I use the waypoint, and I press forward and strafe. So you see I'm going forward and strafe like this, and then I start about face by pressing A and W. So about face is the same exact about face you use when you just press W, and you start doing like this. This helps us because we start not just using about face in front, but we start tilting a little bit in order to have a much broader view, because during 15s we are gonna do this a lot of the time. We are going to get caught a lot of the time, because our camera is like here when stuff is happening, for example here when I am pointing the mouse. So how to do that? We just learn to about face and tilting the camera at the same time. So we start this drill like this. We take this point, about face straight, then about face with strafe, about face strafe. I move my mouse about face, I try to create a star around it. So what is this waypoint? This waypoint represents the potential commander or the potential threat that I am in that moment, and learn to move first and foremost with our about face. Then if shit hits the fan, as they say, we just go with our dodges, we just go with break stun, and of course we always have to call it. So we just keep doing this, and when the commander says, for example, move away, let's say that we are here stuck in the sheet, and the commander is this guy that is saying just we have to go back, just use this and just go back to your commander and watch with the camera, because if you just do this, you may be losing stuff that is happening here. But if you do like this, you have a much larger portion here. So of course maybe now it doesn't make too much sense, but when you are in the clash, you're gonna see how much useful this stuff is. So instead of using dodges, just try get back like this: zigzag, 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 like this. The commander is here, for example, you just zigzag here. Okay, so this is a quick way to use about face, because the point is you could use this, the back pedal, but if you start moving with back pedal, you're just gonna get caught because you're too slow. Like this, you can move and just get away from the shit in a split second, and also not using your dodges. So remind that when you watch the logs and you see a lot of dodges in 15s, doesn't always mean that you've done well. It could also mean you are inside a bad positioning habit and you are using dodges to cope. Okay, so keep in mind this. First and foremost, about face, strafe about face,